Hello, and welcome to the McTaggart Attack Podcast. I'm Kevin McTaggart, and in this episode, I'm going to give my opinion on why I don't think we should impeach President Trump. I talk about all the other options that they have, and I end the episode explaining or giving what I think our best options are in dealing with this fucktard of a president. So I hope you enjoy listening to it. Let me know what you think by contacting me however the hell you want to contact me or whatever, and make sure to hit that like or dislike button if you're watching this on YouTube, and subscribe and review if you're, or just subscribe really, and download as many fucking podcasts as you can, because that really helps me out. And if you can think of anything else that I can do with this podcast, let me know. Let's move on to the episode. This may come as a surprise to regular listeners of my podcast, but I really don't think President Trump should be impeached. It's not because I don't think he did anything wrong. He did a lot of things wrong. So many things wrong. He's so bad. He's the worst president we've ever had so far. But I don't believe he should be impeached. And it's hard for me to say that, but it kind of makes sense to say that, because there are options for him. I know as of this recording, I'm recording this on a Sunday, on the Sunday the 10th, so there's 10 days at this time until impeachment, but I believe I'm going to put this out on Tuesday, or I might put it out on Monday, so there's 8 or 9 days left until Inauguration Day, so bear with me. We'll see what day it is whenever I put this out, because I'm really not sure, because to be honest, I've done 2 episodes today, one about Twitter banning Trump, and now I'm doing one on impeachment banning Trump, and I've given you that inside information that you don't necessarily need, but it's kind of like me being authentic and letting you know my thought process when it comes to doing the podcast. So anyway, back to what I was trying to say. I don't think Trump should be impeached. A big reason why I don't think Trump should be impeached is we have 8, 9, or 10 days left until Inauguration Day. And it just seems like Congress would be putting way too much emphasis on this, and instead of like trying to smooth things over and have a very smooth transition. You can't have a very smooth transition for the next president when you're still in the middle of impeaching the last one. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be impeached. I just think with over a week left until Inauguration Day and his actual presidency is over, it doesn't really make sense to impeach him right now. I mean, if this had happened 6 months ago, or actually, fuck it, if it had happened 2 months ago, I'd be all for it. But since it happened a week and a half, before presidency, the whole insurrection thing. That's how I sum it up, the whole insurrection thing. It just time-wise, it doesn't really make sense. Because I honestly believe that once he's done being president, he's going to get arrested anyway. He's going to get arrested for something. He's going to get charged at some point. I believe he will. My opinion is he's going to get charged with something when he leaves office at some point. I know that New York is filing a case against him, and I know that the feds should have to now, because he incited a riot to storm the Capitol. His intent had nothing to do with it, whether he intended to do it or not. They still stormed the Capitol after listening to him speak. Him and Don Jr. and Rudy Giuliani, who I'm still mad used a Game of Thrones reference, because I'm not sure I can be a Game of Thrones fan now after hearing Rudy Giuliani use a Game of Thrones reference. But yeah, it's just frustrating. I'd like to see him get impeached if there wasn't a week and a half until his presidency is over, but I just don't think impeaching him is the way to go. The way to go is the 25th Amendment. And even I'm a little skeptical about that. Because I think Pence is pissed off enough, and from what I've heard on mainstream media, that Pence is pretty much on the verge of doing the 25th Amendment, invoking the 25th Amendment, if anything else happens. What else needs to happen? What else needs to happen, Mike? Honestly. What the fuck else needs to happen? But my issue with the 25th Amendment and impeaching, and as much as I try not to give a shit about what other people think, we just had a large group of people storm the Capitol building about a week ago. And we're transitioning to a new president. One of the last things that we should do is piss off the base any further. As cowardly as that seems, I just think we can't piss off Trump's base. Yes, that would make them, seem like they won. So I'm a little wishy-washy on that, though, about the whole pissing off the base thing. Because, you know what? They're going to be angry anyway. So I think I actually changed my mind on that. The 25th Amendment would be a good idea, I think. If they can get him out of there. Because that gets him out of there quicker than any of the other options. Except maybe the option that I'm going to bring up in just a second. But I don't think that option's going to happen. But hold on. So yeah, the 25th Amendment would be fine. Because, Trump's base right now is so angry. Nothing's going to make them less angry. So they're already as less angry as they're going to be right now. The only way they would be happy is if Trump was still president. If he remained president. Or I don't even know what the fuck they want right now. If you're a Trump supporter, what exactly do you want? Leave it in the comments of the YouTube video. Or email me. But mostly leave it in the comments of the YouTube video. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I don't think impeachment is a good idea because of the time frame. I'm skeptical of... I think the 25th Amendment would be a good idea. But I worry about Trump's base, but I really shouldn't be that worried about Trump's base because they're already angry. This would make them angrier, but they were already angry anyway, and they're going to be angry for a while, I think. We need to do something about that once Biden gets inaugurated. I hope that they try to do something about that. And it's just have to do something about it, I think what I would like to see done is somehow have them talk to Trump. Talk some reason to Trump, which I know doesn't fucking happen. But they need him to resign. But they need him to resign and say it in such a way that it won't make his followers any more angry, even though I shouldn't really give a shit about pissing off the followers, because I don't care about what people think anyway, but they just stormed the Capitol, and they may do other things around the country, so it's more of national security issues here. But if they just had him resign in a peaceful way, or have him just have them agree with him, have him agree to resign early, or just maybe have him do another speech again. But he did do a speech where he talked about how my top priority is a peaceful transition of power. And we heard a few days later that he regretted giving that speech. So let's have him give a speech and not have anybody hear him say that he regretted it next time. But I just honestly think that like the best thing for him to do is resign beforehand or give some sort of speech trying to quiet his followers down even further. Maybe have him apologize for all the election fraud claims. I don't know. I think resigning is the best option, but it's not going to happen. I think the 25th Amendment is something that really should be done because all reports indicate that the guy is mentally deranged in some way or another. But impeaching him, we shouldn't impeach Trump because he's going to face criminal stuff, criminal litigation once he leaves office anyway. And the timeline, a week and a half, all this stuff happening a week and a half or a week before inauguration of the next president just clouds things up, and it just makes people angrier. And we don't want to make people angrier. So we shouldn't impeach the president. Even though I want to impeach the president, I don't think we should impeach the president. So we'll see what happens. I wanted to add some thoughts to this. I've had a few days to think about this. I know I recorded this on Sunday, and I wanted to record this part tonight. I do still think that impeachment is not the way to go because of how volatile the situation is stemming from last Wednesday's Trump insurrection. I do think the best option is to just let him just go through the rest of his term, the next 8 days or so until Inauguration Day when he leaves. Because I feel like we have more control over him if he's in the White House, but if we don't let him do anything in the White House, that'll be fine. But if they do invoke the 25th Amendment, that's okay. That's good. If they can somehow find some way to make him resign before then, that would be great too. I don't know, but I just think either resigning or leave him in there till his term is officially over, which is in about 8 days. Those would be my best two options. Then invoking the 25th Amendment. And then the last option, which I don't think they'll do, or maybe they will, I don't know, impeachment. I just don't think impeachment's a good idea. I have a bad feeling about impeachment. You don't want to piss him off any more than he's already pissed off. And he's got no Twitter to use, or any social media platform for that matter, so I think we should just wait it out. That's my plan. That's my controversial take on all of this. Let's just wait it out and not impeach him. Because he's probably going to go to jail after, when he's done being president anyway, so win-win? I don't know. That might not be win-win might not be the way to, might not be the phrase that I meant to use here, but I didn't know how the fuck else to end this episode. Hey, thank you so much for watching and or listening to the podcast today. I really appreciate it. If you watched it on YouTube, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you listen to it on an audio podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to the podcast. And that's the bottom line. If you smell what the McTaggart Attack Podcast is cooking.